Hey guys, I just wanted to go over some information about the Veterans Day essay outline that we went over today. I know it was a lot of information at one time, and I know sometimes when you have a lot of people in your class, it's difficult to fully understand maybe what your teacher is saying. So I just wanted to do a double check that everybody knows what they are supposed to have done and understands all the directions. So the first thing I want to do is just go back over like where we even started. So you today should have gone to Canvas and gone to announcements. And the very first announcement was going to be a Veterans Day essay outline. And you should have clicked that right there, clicked the link, and then made a copy. So once you make a copy of it, and I'm not going to do that because you know how, go to File, Make a Copy. You're going to press Share, and then you should have shared that with my .com email. And I checked most of my classes today, but just make sure that you did that. Then you're ready to start. Now, some of you that were here Friday, a couple of my classes started an outline and we typed maybe one thing, and then a couple of my classes wrote on paper. So we are not going to use those anymore. We're going to just use this new outline. So if you have an outline that we started on Friday, you can pull that up and then take whatever it is that you wrote. And I think most of you just did your hook. Maybe my first period did some commentary. And if you want to keep that same information, then just copy it and paste it onto the new outline. So when you get your new outline updated, just delete the old one, like put it in the trash on your Google Docs. Okay, so now we're going to focus on just this new outline. So the first thing you need to do, this is mine, is you need to type the title of our essay, which is going to be Why Are Veterans Special? And I just highlighted so that it would stick out. And then we're just going to focus on this first paragraph. So the big thing that I need you to understand is, well, first of all, we have 5 paragraphs. So we have our intro is first, our conclusion is last, and then in between we have our 3 body paragraphs. So in your intro, which is what we're focusing on, I'm just going to type a one right here, introductory paragraph. Here are the things that you are going to have. Well, paragraphy, okay, that's definitely not a word. You are going to have your hook, so that's going to be probably 1 sentence. You're going to have your commentary. Your commentary, this is discussing your hook. Okay, so remember, you're going to start out with things like this shows, or this proves, this is why, this explains. So those are sentence starters just to make sure that you are writing your commentary correctly, because you want to make sure that whatever you're putting right here is discussing what you put right here, okay? Then the next thing after your commentary is going to be background information. So remember, we talked about this is like with your plot diagram, your exposition, where you include any background information about your characters that we need to know. This is where you put any information about veterans or Veterans Day that we need to know before reading your entire essay. And then the last thing is going to be your thesis. And that is going to be telling what your 3 reasons are for why you think veterans are special. So this is what your introductory paragraph is going to essentially look like. Okay, so now we're going down here. Hook. So I put type hook here. This is where we're going to type your hook. And then down here, I put what the hook is. So it gets the reader's attention. It's the first sentence of the essay, and these are different types of hooks. So like we talked about, if you were trying to catch a fish, you would use bait. Well, this is your bait. You're going to try to catch your reader, get them to continue reading your essay. So it needs to be interesting. These are your options. So you could start with a statistic, which is going to be like a fact that includes numbers, an anecdote, which is just like a short little story, a shocking fact, a quote, or a specific image or detail. This is more of like something that your readers can visualize. So these are all different ways that you can start your essay, your hook, okay? So I chose quote, and you've all seen this already. So I typed it right here. I found this from a website. So the way that it was written, President Kennedy was not at the beginning. It just had the quote and then his name at the end. So I took it and gave credit to the person who said it and put President Kennedy said, comma, and then I put my quotation marks. So quote, quote, because it's exactly what he said. Now notice right here, I do not have the period. I got rid of it because then I have to put my in-text citation. So remember, your citation is when you are giving credit to whoever wrote the article. So you have to have your open parentheses after your quote. the very first thing, so I put it right here, is the author's last name. So if you have an author, you're just going to put their last name as the first thing in your parentheses, and then you're going to put a comma. Then after that, you're going to put the title of your article, and you're going to put it inside of quotation marks that are still inside of your parentheses. Then you put your period outside the parentheses. Make sure that you capitalize your important words, just like always. Now, let's say you don't have an author. So this is you down here. If you don't have an author, you're not going to put no author. You're just going to have your parentheses, and you're just going to put the title of your article in your quotation marks inside of your parentheses, period outside. So same thing, just don't put what you don't have. So you can't put the author's last name. But please make sure that you are really, truly checking, because it might be at the top, it might be at the very bottom, it might be on the side. So like Veterans Day quotes. Now let's say if you're this person that picks this right here, that's fine, but this is not your source. This is your source. You've got to click on the actual website, okay? Now if I wanted to use this quote by Claudia Pemberton, then it would say something like, Claudia Pemberton said, comma, and then I'd give the quote, okay? I would get rid of the period here, but then I would have to cite the website. So I'm going to look and see if I have an author. So here's my author, Jessica Lee Mattern. So this is her last name. So I'm just going to put that in my in-text citation. So after the quote, I'll put open parentheses, Mattern, comma. Then this is the title of my article. So I would have quotation marks, capitalize all these important words, close quotation marks, close parentheses, a period outside. Country Living is the name of the website. You're not putting that. You're not putting the URL. You are just putting the title of the article, okay? If I didn't have an author, remember, I would just put this, my parentheses, inside of quotation marks. Hopefully that makes sense. The next thing is your commentary. So you should have typed this today on your document. These are the sentence starters that we were talking about earlier. Commentary comes from you, the writer. So think about like Sports Center, or anytime you're watching any kind of show that has a commentator, someone talking about what's going on, that's you right now in this paper. So you are going to talk about your hook, whatever you just typed. So you have to relate it back to your topic, which is why veterans are special. So my quote, you already read it. So this is what I wrote. This quote explains how important it is to tell veterans that we are thankful for them, but it is even more important to show them with our actions. Veterans Day is an exemplary way to show our gratitude, but it takes more than just that. We do not have to wait until a special day to show our acknowledgement. Okay, then this needs to go here. So that's my commentary. That is me talking about my quote that I just wrote. This all comes from me because I am the commentator of my paper. You are the commentator of your paper, so you should not be citing anything. You should not get anything from a website. You are just talking about your hook. So that's why you need to start with something like this shows, this proves, this is why, this explains, so that you know you are referring back to whatever your hook is, okay? Done with that. Now my background information. So this is where, like, if there is anything that you think that you need to type to let your reader know to make your paper make sense, meaning like if you think they need to know what a veteran is, if you think they need to know when Veterans Day is, things like that, you would include that here. So I just put most of these men and women were not obligated to serve. They did this because it was for the good of our country. So that's all I have. Then my very last thing, which is the most important sentence of my whole essay, is my thesis. So you remember your topic, why are veterans special? So this is where you're going to give 3 reasons why they are special. So I started with veterans are special for many reasons, colon. I can put a colon before a list if whatever is in front of my colon is a complete sentence. This is a complete sentence, so I can put a colon and then I'm going to list. My first reason, they make many sacrifices, comma, they are heroic, comma, and they fight for our freedom, period. So 1 reason, 2 reasons, 3 reasons. I'm not explaining the reasons, so don't start going into detail about these reasons. I know you want to, but you're just going to list them. You're going to talk about them later. Now, you don't have to write it this way with the colon. You could say veterans are special because and then list. So I heard a lot of good examples today, so you do not have to do what I did, but that is just another example. So the end result is going to look like this. You're going to have your hook, and I just put them all in different colors. Hook. This is my commentary. I'm going to change this. This is my background information. And then this is my thesis. and I put 3 different colors for my 3 different reasons. Okay, so that's what it all should look like in the end. Now, you do not have to do this tonight. The only thing that I'm checking for is to make sure that you have your outline completed for your first paragraph, okay? And we're going to talk more about it tomorrow, and I'm going to look at it later. I'm about to go pick up my children right now. But hopefully this will help you, and you can go back over it if there is a specific part that you don't understand. But please feel free to email me if you have any questions about anything, and I cannot wait to read what you guys wrote.